Hello everyone, we are here with Shemika and Annabelle, graduate students with George Mason University Center for Mason Legacies. Last summer, they were contracted out by the Black History Committee, Friends of the Thomas Balch Library, to do research on some African American communities here in Loudoun County. So they're going to kind of walk us through a little bit of that research and kind of go down that rabbit hole. So we'll hand it off to Annabelle.
Okay, so for this video, we're going to be mostly talking about what we found for Willard, the community of Willard that was where Dulles Airport is today. This is where we started on the project, and a large part of it came from Balch Library Collections. The first thing that I'll show you is this R.L. Kane collection document. This is a new collection, but we were really privileged to be able to access it before it gets fully processed. I'll just show you, these are some of the appraisals for the land acquisition when Dulles Airport was being built and planned for. It has prices that were offered to people, plats and maps of the property with their names. There's also photos of the property and properties and buildings that were on them. You can sometimes see outbuildings and farmland and roads in these photos. These documents, this book rather, was a really nice jumping off point for us and really how we began the project, because it's just provided a wealth of information in terms of money, but also names. So we were able to see the long list of names of individuals and families whose farmlands were purchased, taken, whatever verb you wish to use, by the U.S. government. So we were able to track family names and the prices of the appraisals and offers. That is one of the leads that we followed. Was we then started to track these numbers and compare them to one another, specifically between white community members and Black community members. And we found that there was a disparity between the price per acre of what was offered to white residents versus Black. Black residents were offered a rate much lower. And so that became one of the important pieces of our arguments. From there, one of the most prominent names we kept seeing over and over and over again in this book was the Newmans. And so, Shemika, if you want to tell where we went from there.
Absolutely. So as Annabelle was mentioning, we saw the Newman family and some other families, but that was the way we approached the project, to try to tell a family story and a family history. And since we saw the Newman name repeat so many times, we figured that was going to be a good lead to follow. And so the library also had a Newman research collection, and Bazil Newman is actually a very important person to our local history. And so we went to the Newman file and were able to pull some of the census documents from the early 1800s. And this was kind of our way of looking at who was in the area based upon the appraisals. And then we switched to the 1860 tax map here and found this jewel of a find in this Winsapper 1860 tax map, and we see these Newman plots located here. And so we were able to kind of make the connection that, if nothing else, the Newmans that were here in the 1940s, 1950s were likely descendants of Bazil Newman. And yeah, so that was a great find for this project. And do you have any closing remarks, Annabelle?
I think just to build off that last point, these documents that we found were indicative of our larger argument that we hadn't yet found, that these prominent families that created the Willard community had been here for 100 years, just about, had built this community through property ownership. Some of them descended from enslaved people, some of them descended from free people in the 19th century. And so we were able to uncover, with these documents and others, a legacy of family and generational wealth and all of these sorts of things that was interrupted by the creation of Dulles Airport. But yeah, I think that's it.
Wonderful, fantastic. And I know from being here every day that you guys worked very hard on this project. And is there a place for our viewers to see the end product of your research?
Yes.
We have a story map, and maybe what we can do is link it in the bottom or top part of this video.
Great, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.